I'm going to go ahead and start recording because I want to talk about the bands as well. Okay, so this is the box. I'm going to take this box off though. Okay, it's just too much going on my screen. Okay, and matter of fact, I don't need any of these targets anymore. I'll take these off. So just give me a second. That way it's nice and clean. Kind of give you an idea. Okay. All right, and we'll keep these two here. All right, so the way that you want to approach this, okay, talking about the trade here, we come into the edge, we break the edge, we reclaim the edge, look to take the trade. You get like 5 points here, $250. We run into the 9 EMA and then you're rejected there. In a strong downtrend, okay, we come over here, we look down here in the advancers. Anybody on Thinkorswim, I would definitely recommend you do this. Put your advancers over here. Okay, I'm watching the broader market. This is the New York Stock Exchange. I'm looking to see what the market's doing. Okay, this is Tuesday. Let's just do 5 minutes. Give me, all I want is 5 minutes in one day here. Not 5 days, just one day. Can I do one day? There it is. All right. This is one day on the advancers. These levels I got from my buddy, and I'm telling you, they work amazingly. So if you look at my chart, mimic it, copy it. Hey, Jay, are you listening by chance? Jay, if you're listening, do you have the script for this so everybody could put this on their screen? So basically, the way I look at this, you're going to sell the rips when you're in this red zone. When you're in the chop zone, you don't do anything. When you're above 2,000, you're looking to buy the dips. Okay, when you're above 1,600, you know, that's kind of like the market we live in. Just kind of sideways, whatever, it's doing its thing. But above 2,000, super strong. Once we get in this 800 level, you're looking at selling the rips. Okay, everybody tracking on that? So what are we looking at? How do we stay in this trade? This is the most important thing. I love the bands. The bands are one of the scripts that we have. We do have formations that are built into the bands that are giving you these indicators. See the indicators, the red arrows? They're basically plotting out supply for you. Okay, or just momentum candles. They're plotting that out for you. So the only thing that I need to do is say, okay, if I do start to trend up, you know, where can price, besides the 9 EMA, where can it stall? So we kind of want to know these areas because when you are trending down, you look to get short into the pops. Okay, so I'd come over here and look at this. So I'm going to place this here. Okay. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to place it here because I have that red arrow. And see this drop, drop. And then I'm going to come up here to my edge. Okay. And then I have these targets down here. So your blueprint kind of looks like this right here. You have different scenarios here. Okay. Price can move into this target. Okay. Maybe it gets a little bounce here. Okay. Into supply. The 9 EMA will wrap around, kind of do its thing. It'll probably hit here, right? And if it takes over the 9, then we look for the trade into here, right? And then it can move freely up into the edge if it wanted to. All right. So that's one scenario. All right. And so we're just looking for these arrows. And if we go back and notice when we broke down, okay, price, man, in a trending market when things are looking like this over here in this red zone over here, folks, and we continue down, the market can't even get back up to supply before it falls. I mean, that's how crappy it is. You know, this was like somewhat of a nice effort here, okay? But notice, I mean, it can't even, you know, it just breaks right back down. Okay? Boom, comes back down. Boom, comes back down. Nothing. Now let's look at it from Fibonacci. Okay? Going to take the pivot high in here, in this blue zone here. Grab the fibs here. I'm going to place the fibs here. Let's just hypothetically say this is going to be the bottom here today, 2957. Okay. Notice that when I put these at supply, look at the confluence. We almost have this lined up with the 23.6. This isn't quite lined up with the 38, but these are really nice because these are bearish channels. And we know that in a downtrend, that the 23 and the 38.2 are going to hold in a downtrend. It will continue to pop up maybe and then push right back down. Okay. So that's kind of cool. You can do a couple things here as a trader. You can say, hey, I like this target already because it's lined up with this. And if I were to put it here, so I'm like one of those guys, if the fibs are up here, I'm going to bring my target down anyways because I think everybody else is shooting for the same stuff. All right. So I'm looking for a move into my targets just a tad underneath here. They line up with supply. They line up with Fibonacci. And so I just want to come down a little bit. Okay. All right. So that's that on the Fibonacci side. Now, depending on your patience, okay, there's no difference in this trade, just like when we're trading to the upside. You're just looking for it to bounce into 23 and then go bid below. Okay. That's it. Now, what I was talking about earlier is I say velocity. I like this kind of look. I love this sharp move down. We typically will reclaim like half of this before the end of the day, depending on what we get here. Now, if we tend to go sideways for quite some time and then start to break out, that's even higher probabilities we get up in here. But if we just kind of continue to drop base lower lows, then we're still looking for these targets down here. Okay. Let's go into, let's see here. Let's go down here into our focus trades. I just want to show you guys these real quick. These are very important. Okay, now look. We took this trade this morning right here at the break of the PMZ. Okay. I'm going to open this up. And what this is called down here, in case you guys have never seen me do this, this is just called the dashboard. So what I could do is just buy and sell. I don't really need to look at the matrix or anything. It just sometimes makes it easier. I just did it because I had 3 screens or 3 charts here instead of 4. So anyways, took the trade here out of the PMZ. Okay. It pushed. Nice move into this first target. And the reason why these targets are so close is because of this market's been so choppy. And really at the end of the day, we were super fortunate to even get this move. When I go back and look, I'm like, wow, man, this market looked like poop, right? So really nice trade here. Like I showed on social media, 17 cents, folks. 17 cents was your risk once we broke out of here. Okay, and even if you front run it right here, you still weren't even stopped out on 50 cents. Okay, and then push up into here, you're getting $1.30 something for that 17 cents of risk. Beautiful. Now, here's the part where I talk about you can trade this both ways and not be biased. Okay, you break here. All right, this is where you break. You take your trade. Right, look at this momentum. Take the trade to the downside. Stop goes above the PMZ. We're not going to only risk 17 cents. I mean, maybe some of you guys will. I'm going to have my stop a little bit more like 50 cents. Okay. So these trades are giving us in this volatile market, they're giving us not only those nice moves to the upside, they're giving us huge moves to the downside. All right. And this is my own fault for not, look at this thing. Jeez. It's not even on my screen anymore. All right, and so the PMZ indicator as well here. These things look simple, but they're, they're right on par. I mean, they look, it's just an arrow, man. It's telling you, hey, get short. You stay short here, risk is up here. You know, this is the kind of move you're getting. It's pretty incredible. Over here on Disney, again, this was a big cluster with me and Vinny, but, it worked out in for me, so I'm happy. But I took the trade here immediately on this candle. It had like a 50-cent stop on here. By the time they engaged, I was able to get out of the trade here. Okay, and I wanted to look at buying options if we could hold above, and I said that in the room. Okay, but we couldn't. Okay, so instead of being biased, though, again, Market is down, pushes up, rejects. Where do you want to take the trade here? Do you take the trade as soon as it breaks? I think that most people would be on the side of thinking that it's going to continue up. I know I wanted that. But look, it loses the VWAP here in the EMAs. All right. And you could say, okay, man, looking at the market, the broader market, things are selling off. This is not looking good. I'm going to go ahead and take the trade here at the list to the downside. Stop goes above the EMAs. Okay. This is not hindsight, folks. This works every single day. Okay. So this is a process that I feel is very simple. You just you got to follow it and execute it. All right, enough. I mean, that's all it takes. Over here on the PMZ of Netflix, okay, Netflix, I recall saying this morning. What if they do the same thing that they did yesterday and the day before on Friday? The push price into my target one, it breaks down, it breaks the list. This is your trade. As soon as you made this lower low underneath here, get short, stop goes above the PMZ, come back, hits the targets that we put on here. Jay, thanks for keeping me out of calls there. We're almost at that 250 like you were saying. And so there's that. All right, looking across the entire market, if I come over here into my fave, you can see here down 33 points. Man, oil's down $1.20. Let's look at oil real quick. I didn't trade oil today. I kind of wish I would have now. I mean, these deltas, meaning how much this is moving per day, is pretty nuts. Let's just look at the chart itself, kind of see what it's given us. Okay, so we come over to oil, and you can see here, I mean, sometimes, no matter what you do, you might get your butt handed to you. All right, I mean, oil is known for that. However, once it broke the PMZ, which was right here, folks, taking the short from 57.87, you got your first target at 57.60. That's $270 a contract, just using the plain and simple strategy that I'm teaching you. I mean, I don't know anybody else out there that can just say, hey, go short underneath this little box here or go long and it actually work in your benefit. Okay, so here you get your 270 bucks. It pushes back up. It breaks out above it if you want to take it into the first target again. Breaks down again, and then the rest is history. Comes back to check the PMZ. Can't even get into the neutral. Breaks down into our next target at 57.16. Depending on your patience, folks, these are huge wins. Like seriously, these are huge. And really, you're just gonna have to, like Barron's doing, you could paper trade it and just kind of fill it out and see if it works for you. I don't like to say that this is, again, this is not the only strategy. What's important about this is that we're trying to take advantage of what the market's giving us. Swing trades are really difficult right now. They are across the board. All right. And with most traders, they're having a very difficult time, including in here. We take a trade and it just, it works. And that's why it's really important. If I say one thing today, regardless if you take one of our trades or you take your own trade, if you're up 30%, 50%, trim your trade. Take some off. All right. There's no reason why you shouldn't be, because this market is just very reliable for not being very trendy. I mean, seriously. So just keep that in mind. Take your profits when you have them. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go over to NVIDIA. Okay, I want to review that trade as well. Down $3. I believe it opened up like almost up 2 or something like that. Looking at the PMZ here. Okay, look at this. Breaks out. And I took this trade. I think we were live. I took this trade and only got like 20 or 30 cents in there or something real quick. That was it. And I got out. I was like, meh, never mind. All right. And so it broke the PMZ. Once it broke the PMZ and the EMAs and the VWAP, this is a short, folks. And so I talk about this a lot. What do you do here? All right. If you're not taking the short right at the PMZ, you need to take the risk that's on your screen for you guys that have the script, 22 cents. Let's say that you're going to take the trade once it breaks below, okay, these EMAs, you're looking at 23 cents. from 47. So let's just say you add another 20, 25 cents to this. Your risk is 50 cents. Take a short here, trade down into the list. Boom, you trim, watch it go sideways, break, stay in the trade, so forth. Okay, same thing here on the edge. All right, all these are great targets for you. All right, so that's what we're looking at on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, right, trimmed at only 30%. I know it sounds like crap, right? 30%, took profits. I was excited. Next day we open, I say, hey man, NVIDIA is looking great, right? Nope, breaks down. All right, and then take a 42% loss, had made some money on the share side, and also lost a little money on the call side. Again, reiterating, my positions are small. It's small for me, all right? So whatever that means for you. So if I'm going small, these are not hurting me. I could stay in the game. If it works, I'm making good money, all right? But if I'm losing, nothing's messing me up. I'm not going home. I'm still able to sleep at night, right? I'm not having a hard time with trading. This is just part of the process, and part of the process is losing and winning. And so if we can just kind of balance those out, believe it or not, I say this a lot, if you can get used to losing, you're going to be a better trader. It happens. It's okay if it happens. All right. When you go into these trades thinking you're always going to win is when you're going to get your pride hurt and you're going to give up. All right. All right. So we're going to move down into here and look at some of these trades. Let's just look at the PMZ and how it worked out today. Again, so on the bands, so I've had some questions. The bands are just EMAs, right? But we built some structure into them to give you the indicators to kind of give you that that conviction to kind of stay in a trade. Okay, and so some things are really important. So you start noticing how all of these kind of come together. The scripts, that's what's amazing. I think Event Horizon, you were talking about this. Once you start to see how they really come together, you can start putting one and one together, two and two together. And what I mean by that, all right, what I mean by that, if I have a momentum candle and it's neutral, okay, if it's neutral and it's breaking out of the PMZ, you can have written rules for yourself. Hey, I like to take the PMZ on the break when the candle's green. When the candle's neutral, I'm feeling kind of neutral. I'm not too sure I want that trade. Okay, candles are breaking down below the PMZ. They're neutral. I'm not too sure I want to get short. Candle goes red. It's under the VWAP. It's under the EMAs. It's under the PMZ. I think I want to go short. Do you see what I mean? There's confluence here with all of my scripts. And so they all kind of come together. And when you start to see that and trade in the zone with these, they really, really start to make sense for you. Okay. And this Amazon just boom, straight down almost to our bottom target there, 1735. All right. So here's another trade that I'll kind of tell you guys about. This is a setup as well. These candles are red right now. Okay, on a 5-minute chart, they're red. They all change across different time frames. They're red, right? Sometimes we can just trade the colors of the candles. Green to white to red. Trade the colors. Anybody not understand what I'm saying? Event Horizon, do you know what I'm saying? So we see the color change and we start to change our momentum. I see neutral to red, I'm thinking down. Over here, say we're coming into a target. Say we go from red, let's say these guys turn white, and then we start to get green candles above this EMA here, then I can look to take a scalp up into the VWAP as long as these candles are green or white. I would much rather take a trade to the upside on a white and green candle than taking it on a red candle. Example, Amazon is white candles. If you would have taken the break of the PMZ on a white candle, it came back. If you took the trade on the Apple to the upside, it was a green candle. The momentum was up. I also back test some of the names. Apple is famous and great for the momentum trade because they tend to actually follow through on momentum. Do you guys see what I'm saying? When I go back and look at Netflix and I study it and I look back, 30, 60, 90 days, Netflix is famous for the chaotic candle that fails over and over. So you pick some names, you go back and you back test them. You don't need to be looking for crazy stuff and just see. All right. So even if you guys do not have, I had one trader say, "Hey, John, this is almost like it's almost like playing the first, what is it called, the 10-minute range, 10 or 15-minute range." Sure. I mean, look at it. All right. There's this dude. He's on the internet. I don't know his name. I'll have to find it out. Um, I talked about him a while ago. He just talks about that one simple setup, right? Anybody know who I'm talking about? That one simple setup. Go long. That's the first setup. Then you got this one. Go short. Look for this combination over here. Does anybody see it? Is anybody listening to me? Nobody's answering me. It's okay because I'm recording. Okay, I know Scott is. All right. So, um, so these two, thanks, Sean. So you guys can see, do you see this setup right here? I cannot tell you this right now. This is one of the biggest. This guy made a video, and I swear I used to make fun. I'm like, this guy came to my room. This guy has planes and jets and books and all this stuff, and all of a sudden he makes a video, you know, after being in the business for forever. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But these setups right here, just look over here, okay? Do you see the setup anywhere in here? Can somebody tell me, just really quick? Do you see? We're going to call this number 1, and we're going to call this number 2. Okay. Do you see setup number 1 here? Can anybody tell me? Yes or no? Hey, Jeff, don't worry, man. I got it recorded. So as fun as this is, I'll be sharing this right here. Okay, cool. So this is setup number 1. This is setup number 2. Anybody tell me, is setup 1, oh man, is number 1 in this over here? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what it looks like, right? Rally base rally. Do you see it in there? Is it in that green box? Are you sure? All right. So candle number 5, if you wanna name them from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Candle number 5 does not close over candle number 3. There's a big difference. Huge difference. Okay. So this right here is the formation that we're talking about. Okay. You don't see it here. Okay. Now, this is formation number 2. Do you see drop, base, drop in here? Any of these? You already answered. So there is, right? So there is one. Yep. So right here. There's one right here. So there's a couple things you could do. You could take the short right here with your stop above this. Okay. Or momentum change underneath the VWAP, underneath the EMAs. Boom. The broader market's going down. I think I'm going to go short. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? You guys see what I'm saying? So You got the EMAs, you got the PMZ, you got all these things in your tool belt to say, hey man, I think this is going to be a good short right here. The first thing though is you need to understand your risk, and what I'm giving you is the risk on the PMZ. Okay, so if the PMZ says your risk is 79 cents here and you don't get short until underneath here, then obviously you need to add the difference between the two and to the PMZ if you want your stop above the PMZ. If you want your stop in this area, then you could use the list. All of these come together, folks. So if I would have went short on this close of this candle right here, my short, my stop, I want to be having my stop right here between the PMZ and the edge. Okay, so we place our stop right above here. You get short right here. That's 1783.36. Stop is at 1787. So about $4.50, $5 on Amazon is normal. I would keep my stop up here, and you take your trade down here. We're going to ride the EMAs as long as price stays underneath and closes underneath the 9. Right here, it closes above the 9. I would have been out. Okay. Yes, it keeps falling, but who cares? But this is the way that you ride the EMA. Okay, everybody got that? So that is a very easy way to look for candle structure, but also have these on your chart. See, I don't really need to look for those candle structures because I have them, I have all that stuff on here. All right, so let's pay attention over here again, going on to the advancers. Remember, folks, have these levels. If you don't have them on your chart, write them down really quick. 2000, 1600, you don't have to put 16.75. 1600, 1400, 1000, 800. Okay, these levels are huge. These are advancers, New York Stock Exchange. Basically, when we're in the red, we look to sell the rips. In here, this 1400 level, and that really from 1250 to 1400 is neutral. Above green to green, we're trending market up, trending market down in the red. Everything else in between is chop. Guess where we spend most of our time? In the chop zone. It sucks, but it's true. So that's why, again, on the focus trades, we try to keep focus trades on something we think is going to move. Upgrades, earnings, things like that, okay? Speaking about earnings, I think we have some earnings coming in this afternoon. Going to take a quick look here to see what's coming up. We do have an earnings calendar room, just easy convenience for you. Today is Tuesday, is that correct? Jeez. All right, after the bell, we have Nike, Cinex, Cintas, Isoray, Comtech, and tomorrow morning, nothing I've ever heard of. Worthington, Endava, Dynatronics. After close, KB Home, Pier 1 Imports. So it's, as far as tonight, obviously Nike. I have to get going here really shortly, but let's see if we can look at Nike really quick for an iron condor. Now the problem is for the iron condor, we're looking at, we're only going into Wednesday, So I prefer to buy these on Thursdays, but let's take a look. I'm going to go to a weekly. You can see it's coming down into an edge right before earnings. So sometimes they'll push these things into. So I left this on here because I love this chart, and just like all charts I give you guys, they're money. They really are. And if you don't understand them, you just need to ask the question, hey John, what does this mean? This one I made pretty simple. I said if shit hits the fan demand, that's what I called it. And I did this before price came into there. All you had to do is wait for it to come in here, take your trades to the upside. These are the kind of trades that everybody's looking for. I'm putting them out there on this. I'm putting them out there on those charts I give you guys. You just need to look at them and create your alerts so that you know when they're coming in there. Okay. On this guy, we're coming into earnings. It's holding the monthly. It's doing its thing. But I want to look and see, hey, where's some demand? I could see it here coming right into about this area right in here. It's already come back to this demand. I'm going to use this. So 82 to 80, it's trading at 86. And then if it breaks out, then we're going to all-time highs, right? So a quick way that I do this is just a Fibonacci extension from the most recent rally. I'm going to come up to the all-time high, so somewhere in here. And then I'm just going to pull back for me into my monthly. Okay, and then I'm going to move these into the 38 and the 50. Why? Because they're just the closest to targets. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. So my targets going into Nike, I'm doing this really fast because I got to get out of here, but would be 90.38 and 91.71. And then far as support, I'm looking at this. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. And what I'm looking for is, even if price is a good earnings, I expect it to hit here and then down. And if price dumps, I'm looking for it to come here and then back up to the edge. So an iron condor would be to sell this up here and to sell this down here, and looking for price to travel sideways into Friday. Okay. So I don't know what the implied volatility is. I could come over here and take a look, but again, I have to take off. One thing we could do is go over to analyze. And they're looking at $4. $4. Now let's go back to our chart. 90.3 from 86.90. Hey guys, that's $4 almost. Down to the downside here, 82 to 80. Guys, that's $4. That's how you analyze a chart without looking at what the street's looking for. All I'm doing is using Fibonacci, demand levels, and so forth. And basically, you can see that I'm right in line with the street, which is pretty cool, but it's not that cool. What I like to find is charts that are, they're way out of tune. So, and I can do this and I'll find advantages in the market where market makers might not be seeing this. But, you know, far as I'm concerned, far as Nike goes, it looks like they're pretty much in line. That's just my opinion. This is what I'd be looking for. I'm not sure about the implied volatility. It's probably not that much. But anyways, I hope you guys like this. I hope you can see, you know, the value in the room when you do have the chance. One chart that my buddy shared with me today that I really like is this right here. This is really cool. So what he has is a bunch of names on here. You have to know the color, so it's like your own chart. These are like the leading names. And this morning when I jumped out of Apple, I noticed the quick spike down kind of all over the board. And so I just went ahead and knew that it was time to exit the trade. So this is kind of cool. You can see here they all have, you know, this is Apple. This right here is, let me see here if it'll tell me. I think it's Google. I'm not too sure. Anyways, Netflix, Nvidia is up here, all of these. So they're all trending down. But what I wanted to do is put this on the semiconductors, and we'll be taking a look at that pretty soon as well. And as soon as those things start trending, we're going to be making some serious money to the upside as well. Down here on Apple, just to kind of give you guys a quick run through on the focus trades, came into the weekly, kind of holding that cloud. Disney came down into whatever, kind of pulling back up here. And then Netflix came into 253 and pushed up to 255. I do like Netflix as far as calls go, but I just want to be patient with the market right now on the long side. Okay, but I do think that we're coming into some support across the board. So do I want to start buying Delta 30s yet? Perhaps, you know, perhaps. So maybe towards the end of the market, we have about 2 more hours here. But I'm going to take off. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. If you're brand new, welcome to the room. If you're brand new and you were listening to me this morning, you're like, what the heck's going on? Just watch the webinar and get a feel for everything before you start doing anything, and ask questions. All right. There will be swing trades that are alerted out. Most focus trades are audio, unless I think for some reason that the focus trade is going to go a long time, then I will alert that manually. But for the most part, we're just looking for, $2 to $3 on those trades, and then we're looking to see if they can continue. Then I'm looking to take trades on the call and put side for those. Okay, future trades, they're there every single day. I gave you the blueprint. If you're in here trading futures and you don't understand the setup, please reach out to me. Once you learn the setup, you really don't need me. You just, you might want to learn other things, and I will teach you those. All right. So have a great day. I appreciate you guys. Don't force trades, please. It's not worth it. And we'll see you in the morning. We'll have some great trade setups again for tomorrow, probably Nike and so forth.